Hello and welcome to the page of many things. My name is Derek, or Lycan 101, and this video is going to be yet another Pathfinder product review. And in today's video we will be reviewing the second installment of the Skull and Shackles Adventure Path, Volume 2, Raiders of the Fevered Sea. So for those of you that haven't seen the first video, the Wormwood Mutiny, go ahead and check that one out. And then come back here. I'll probably put a link down in the description and you can see that. So, this will be slightly spoilerific, so if you're planning on playing in the Skull and Shackles campaign, do not watch this video. If you're a DM, thinking about running it, great, this is good for you. So let's get right down into it. This is the second installment, obviously, by Greg A. Vonham, and I have to say right off the bat, it's superb. Story-wise, this is what I was looking for and what I was expecting from Skull and Shackles. At the end of the first section of the campaign, your players will be in complete control of their own ship, and they set out to get it squibbed, which means they are going to get it renamed and refitted, so that way the ship will be their own and they get to name it. From there are about, I think it's 20, check, yes, technically 20 different events that occur, yes, 20, sorry, I had to make sure, excuse the rather loud cars driving by outside, because some people are racing, I don't know. Anyway, about 20 different events that can occur while you're party is just simply raiding and adventuring across the sea. This is a perfect time for you to throw in whatever kind of side adventures you want, side ports, or anything that you want to do. This is simply your character's chance to be pirates. And for those of you that have seen my previous Adventure Path review, I am proud to say that the bestiary in this version is spectacular. Here's a photo. That right there. Yes, those are leopard cats. But they're also fish, so it's cool. So in this section in this bestiary, we have the Canopy Creeper, CR8, and 5 different kinds of fish, ranging from CR1 all the way to CR6, which means you just can go fishing. You also have different kinds of Sahujin mutants, and the sea cat. There you go. Look at that. It's a leopard and a cat. CR4. We also have the giant sea urchin and a Tiberlith, which is a CR10. It's like a stony construct thing. It's pretty cool looking. Yeah, so this is an excellent bestiary. Glad to see they fixed it from the first one. I was not pleased with the first bestiary in this adventure path. And all in all, I would say that for the most part, this adventure is spectacular. I'll show you a couple other pictures. There we go. Look at that. Underwater combat. Yes, it happens. So the other section that is really amazing about this book is the Oceans of Galarian section right here. Get that nice good photo. This is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pages of all the different races that you can find that are aquatic and that live in the water, on the water, underwater, in addition to a brief synopsis of all the seas and oceans found across Galarian. It is superb. We have everything from mermaids to these octopus people to creatures that look like anglerfish that you could essentially, play as. It has locations for additional information, favorite environment, allies, enemies, everything that you can think of. Boom. Here we have this giant octopod looking dude. It's superb. And with the recent release of the Advanced Races book from Paizo, you can probably find a way to play all of these aquatic races if you so chose. Now, I've talked about pretty much and mentioned all the great positives about this. Are there any negatives? Yes, I'm afraid to say there are. And for me, this might seem a little nitpicky to some people, but to me this is what really, there's two things that hold this back from being a perfect module or a perfect section of the adventure path. One is the addition, or is the fact that there are many encounters that are listed, such as there's this encounter with this water naga, and she has a different kind of template attached to her, and the point is that the stat blocks are not statted out. They're just simply here, oops, right there. That's it, and it tells you to go find it in the bestiary. Now, I don't mind it so much in the fact that you're providing more space for story. That's excellent. However, some of them reference Bestiary 2, 3, they reference other books such as some of the earlier, not the Adventure Pass, but the other early campaign setting stuff that Paizo released, and not all of us can always have access to those. I mean, I'm a die-hard Paizo. I have all the Bestiaries on PDF, and I plan on buying them all in print. I have 1 and 2 in print. I need to get the 3rd in print. But the fact that I have to constantly keep all these different things open can be annoying. So it would have been nice to have them all there, but I know that would have sacrificed story. So that's kind of a nitpicky kind of thing, I suppose, but that is one of the drawbacks for me. Another drawback, and this is, like I said, the second of the only 2 drawbacks I can find. Out of the 20 events, they are kind of pretty loose, I guess you can say. The whole story arc in this section is that your players are going to try to hunt down this treasure, and the treasure is made mention of in the very beginning in the terms of they just hear about an old legend about the treasure, and so then they're supposed to pick up on it and then want to learn about it. And then that leads them to say that there's this place called Tidewater Rock, and that's where if you go there, anybody who holds Tidewater Rock will then be rich and has good wealth and luck in their turns as a pirate in the shackles. So you would automatically think that that would be, let's go immediately there. However, there are all these other adventures that they can then do, and you have to kind of let your players know, hey, you can be loose with this, you can go to other places, and otherwise they're just going to try to go straight to Tidewater Rock, and it's not going to work out as well as it could. They're going to miss out on a lot of this freeform adventure. The other problem within this is that I believe it's like the 3rd event, the 12th event, and the 17th event. There is this creature, I can never pronounce it right, but hopefully I can this time. Yep, Sahujin. These little green guys. They're not really little, but they are pretty much the main adversary because they see your ship at one point and they attack you. You kill them. You take this amulet. Turns out the amulet belongs to somebody, and it's all played out in the background. It's not something that the players can immediately grab onto. And then if they're really getting into the piracy role-playing aspect of just plundering the seas, then you can kind of wind up with a problem where the whole storyline can feel a little out of place and disjointed, especially when the pirates come under attack by this woman here, Isabella, and she has the treasure map tattooed into her skin that will lead the players towards the treasure that will make them rich and give them a name in the shackles. So that's the only real problem, is you have to balance out as a DM, GM, you have to balance out the free-flowing nature of the story, the sandbox, and the slight railroad to make sure that they know what the major story is while they're still having fun. So for new DMs, this could be a little difficult and a balancing act, and at times you'll have to teeter-totter back and forth. Another really small gripe is that, and I've seen this on other people's reviews on Paizo's website, is there are several encounters where you can have other pirate ships come up, and let's face it, who doesn't want to take down another pirate ship? But what you're going to run into is the fact that players are going to want to take these ships, and the only way that's listed, mind you, is to run up alongside the ship, board, and then take out the captain. That's really the only way that's written. However, you can then expand upon it yourself and say, I don't want you to attack the captain. We're going to go out and we're going to destroy the rigging, take all the goods, and just leave it floating there a hulk, a little dilapidated ship. So that's not really an issue per se, but it is something to be aware of. Lastly, the thing I want to say is if you are going to put these other ship encounters in to the module, then what you're going to have the problem is, I know my player's going to do it. They're immediately going to go over, they're going to take over the ship, and they're going to say, we want to keep it. Okay, now here's the problem. They are supposed to be only, I believe it's 4th or 5th level at this point, and then they're going to want to start building up a fleet of ships. Now, I believe it's the 4th module in the campaign that will actually allow them to build up a massive fleet. What you run in right now is balancing out them wanting to keep it and not having this massive fleet of NPCs and ships for them to control. So in order to do this, they'll each have to put a skeleton crew. My initial say would be 20 to 25, maybe 30 NPCs on each ship to then just have a skeleton crew, as mentioned in the end of the Wormwood Mutiny, to be a skeleton crew on the other ships. However, they could then have that ship squibbed and renamed and then rejoin the fleet. So there aren't always going to be enough NPCs on board who want to join the pirate's life, or the ship can go be squibbed. One of the NPCs can then turn on the players and then decide to keep the ship themselves and then be a reoccurring enemy. So it's another thing to be aware of. This is, in my opinion, a module for more advanced DMs or DMs that are looking to jump into the deep water to try to get their hands on a sandbox and see what they can do with it. In all honesty, you can simply take this section of the adventure path and you could just run it as its own thing. It doesn't even have to be part of Skull and Shackles. You can do absolutely your own thing with it. This could be the springboard for your own campaign or whatever you want to do. So what's the verdict? 4.5 stars. I'm holding it back because of just those minor little quirks. The 3 of them, or all the ones that I mentioned, are just enough to pull it back from being perfect, in my opinion. The fact that I have to constantly be going to grab other books in terms of the stat blocks means I have to have more things open behind the screen or do more layout work behind the screen ahead of time. And let's face it, the DM's life is always busy, so I don't like having a bunch of books behind the screen. And the balancing act between sandbox and keeping the story straight can be difficult. I can see it going really bad for some groups and players just being pulled from the believability of it. What are we doing here? I just want to go raid the sea. Why am I doing this? Why is this important? So 4.5 for this. It's still a great module. And in terms of, there's rules for a bunch of different things. Like I said, in terms of firearms, there's the additions of the Oceans of Galarian, and the Bestiary is a great improvement. The Pathfinder's Journal, excellent as always. And it's just really great. I'm looking forward to seeing Tempest Rising has been released. I've ordered it. It's on its way, and I will be adding that to my collection for next year when I run the Skull and Shackles. And this has been Derek, Lycan 101, a page of many things, the Pathfinder product review of the Skull and Shackles Adventure Path Volume 2, Raiders of the Fever Sea. Final verdict, 4.5 stars. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.